Hey, greetings. In this video, like we concluded in the previous video, we're going to look at let's put it in a question way. Like, does public speaking make you nervous? So we're going to look at the secrets that can help you pull it off like a pro. Yeah, that's what we're going to look at. Like personally, I went from my first time speaker to an experienced, confident one. Yeah, and you too can actually. Mm, Personally, I started public speaking as a nervous introvert with absolutely no prior experience, just like everyone starts. Yeah, and my first presentation, just like I said earlier, was at a Mediterranean hotel, with board members of a certain organization, of which I'm a member as well. Just a member, not a board member, no, a member, yeah, as well. So we had a meeting with the board members, and I was given an opportunity to talk about some topic. Yeah, so I remember the the overwhelming fear before I started talking, because actually these were big people, two were bigger than me, like older than me. Imagine board members, and like, and it was my first time. So I had that fear, and I remember it, and the intense relief when I was done. So clearly, public speaking was not a natural talent for me. Yeah, personally, I was that person who would shy away, who would want to keep down among many, like you don't want to stand out. I was that kind of a person. But time comes when you have to stand up in order to achieve what you want and to get your career. So that's why you can be sure that when I say that you can overcome your fear and become not just a competent speaker but an excellent one, no matter who you are, it's absolutely true. If I can do it, then I'm sure you can definitely do it. So there are some tricks and techniques I learned over the times and the experience I've had through the entire process, and less stressful, that you can use to make public speaking an almost enjoyable experience. So they normally say that knowledge is power, but I would suggest that knowledge is confidence, because the more knowledge you have about the topic you're going to talk about, then the more confident you'll be during your presentations. So here is what you need to know in order to overcome or to pull off that nervousness like a pro. So number one, know your material. Know your material. The biggest fear hurdle for most people is that they will forget what they were supposed to say. So write it out, practice it, write it out again in bullets or in bullet points, practice it, write it out again in even shorter form, practice and repeat. So this way you want to keep doing this until you have just 2 or 3 words per bullet point that will guide you through your entire presentation. So what you have to know is that knowing your material is not necessarily memorizing it. Knowing is different from memorizing or cramming. So you don't need to memorize, you don't need to cram. You just need to know your material. Like, for example, I'm sure by the time you're chosen to talk about a particular topic, I'm sure you're good at that topic. You know it, like in your head, you know it. So you don't need to put down a lot of stuff. You just need to make bulleted points of what you'll be looking at during your presentation. Like, for example, let's say personally, if I was told to talk about cryptocurrency, so it depending on the event I'm going to, or the people I'm going to talk to, I would say I can look at maybe the introduction of cryptocurrency, and I know what to say about regarding that. You get, then like how people earn from cryptocurrency, the future of cryptocurrency, and then like you get like that. So according to what I know, I make up points that will guide me during my presentation, such that I don't need to be reading or to memorize. No, I just see what am I supposed to talk about, like introduction of cryptocurrency. So then I start giving my introduction. You get like like that. You get, and then how people earn from cryptocurrencies. I know the ways people earn from cryptocurrencies, like the future of cryptocurrencies. You get things like that. So that's what it means to know material. Like by the time you're choosing to talk about something, you have knowledge about that thing. So you just need to to arrange the like the main topic or the like the subheadings of what you will look at. Personally, that's what I would do. The number two, know your venue. So most times the unknown is scary. So the more you know, the better prepared you will feel. So you need to find out as much as you can about the venue before the speaking date. So check out pictures of the room, if there are a step, like if there are steps to the stage or a podium for your notes. It helps you to be prepared and take away some of the anxiety. So you need to, before the presentation day, you need to know where are you going to have the presentation from, the room. You get, so if it's possible, you can go there prior to the presentation. You get, so that you know how you will, where you will stand, where you put your things. You see how you'll be doing, handling the process. Then number three, know who will introduce you and how they will introduce you. So there is nothing that will throw you off your game faster than having to get up on the stage after someone has given the wrong information, after someone has given the wrong information about you or what you are going to speak about. So it can send you like I was saying, it can send your entire presentation and your confidence off the rails. So be sure to clarify who will be introducing you and give the person accurate notes about how to introduce what you are talking about and any details to share about you, including the pronunciation of your name if it is tricky, to avoid those inconveniences and having to recorrect the way they have introduced you. Then number four, know your audience. So this is a key, or this is one key to delivering a great presentation. Even if the material you share is basically the same each time, like there are people who speak for organizations, so they will be talking about the same time always. So even if it is the same, knowing your audience or knowing who you are speaking to allows you to add details to help you connect with them and remove any information or references that may not be appropriate for that particular group. So what you need to know is that it is not like it wouldn't work out having the same presentation for each group audience or for each people. Like for every people you talk to, you're having that same presentation, like nothing changed. So as a professional public speaker, I have to consider the audience you're going to talk to. I have to consider their culture. So you have to know if there are any culture differences. You have to consider them such that you modify your message or your presentation in according to the audience you're going to talk to. Use terms, use words, use illustrations that your audiences can understand. You get, in order to have it to effectively communicate your message. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense when you're communicating to people, when you can give a relevant example according to them, and then you give an example that is completely outside, like those people or your audience. You get, like for example, take an example of the Bible. Like one of the things that I wonder about the Bible, to like God is really very like is very chronological. Like I don't know how to say it, but just know his things, maybe because it's God, because every like those are like the Bible was written in a way that because it was inspired by the Holy Spirit. So you find that these people, according to when you look at the letters of Paul, those letters, when those people are writing those letters, they were considerate of the people they are writing to. So even when they are giving examples or illustrations they used terms and things that those people knew, like you get, like those people, like according to those people's culture. So that's why when you're reading actually the Bible, just a little bit, we've gone that side. When you're reading the Bible, you have to have a background. You get, you don't just read, you just have to first have a background. Otherwise, let's skip that. That is before proper interpretation. You need to know some information about that chapter or letter or episode you're reading. So putting that aside, I just wanted to show you that it is your presentation will be more effective if you modify your presentation content according to the audience you're speaking to. Then number 5, visualize your performance. Like even elite athletes visualize their race, or even from start to finish, hundreds of times before a competition. So that helps them foresee possible issues and convince their mind that when they walk into the real competition, the win is almost guaranteed. So something like that. So after all, as far as their brains know, they have done it 1,000 times before. So the same is true for you and your presentation. Like imagine yourself walking up on the stage, arranging your notes, taking some microphone and thanking the hosts and the audience for the warm welcome. Like imagine every step of the way from start to finish, and visualize the audience, the applause and the confidence you will have to us, like as you speak to the smiling crowds. Then number 6, time your presentation. Make sure you know exactly how long your presentation will be. Like speakers generally have a specific time allotted, and going a bit short isn't generally a problem, but you do not want to get halfway through your presentation just to find that you are almost out of time. So that leaves you either awkwardly ending without following the full arc of your story, or quickly trying to figure out how to summarize the last half of your presentation in the time you have left, which is not good and professional, and which we won't help enable you communicate the entire message you wanted to put across. So do everyone a favor, grab a timer and stand up and say, like, time your presentation. You can look for ways of doing it such that you can time yourself. So maybe if you want to do it practically, you can get a timer and get your presentation, and then if it is written down, you can read it out aloud as you time yourself, as if you're really presenting to an audience, because sometimes we speak much slower than we read. So if you time yourself reading it without saying it out aloud, it will be much shorter than the actual live presentation will be. So that is it. Then the other thing is that, remember, no one probably noticed that little slip but you. Here I'm talking about the mistake you made, that like you can make during a presentation, just like we looked at in the previous video. No one may notice it, like you notice it more than everyone, because you know the material, the order you are supposed to present it in, and which word you meant to use just then. But the audience doesn't, because they weren't there when you're preparing your presentation. So just keep going. Don't give the mistake another thought. If you keep thinking about that slip up, then you'll be distracted and make more mistakes as you move through the talk. So just let it go and move on. And then finally, you can record yourself. Like, it is probably going to be hard to watch, and I promise it never gets easier for most of us, but it is incredibly useful for improving your performance. All have verbal tics that we don't even realize we have. Like the ums, the as, or other filler words we use in a repetitive manner, which are not really good during presentations. And we also have gestures, movements, and physical tics that will distract your audience or our audience. So the best way to catch and fix your unique verb and physical tics is to record yourself presenting, then watch it back to see what you can catch and improve. So this will help you fix parts of your presentation that might not be clear or flow properly. And then watching yourself, like your audience will observe, like you when you watch yourself, like your audience will observe you. It is one of the best ways to improve both your presentational skills and your material at the same time, because you know where it needs to be clarified more. Then perhaps the most important tip of all is to just start doing it. Just start doing it. Like, the best way to improve at public speaking is to get some experience and speak in front of people. So take the opportunities whenever they arise, and push yourself beyond what is comfortable in order to grow your skills. Just get out of the comfortable zone. Someone said, just get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because what makes you comfortable being uncomfortable? Sometimes when we refer to that student life, when you're studying, you feel uncomfortable reading the books, but you can eventually become comfortable by knowing that I'll achieve my dream, let's of getting a first grade. But if you don't read and you be comfortable not reading, you're actually uncomfortable because you won't be in position to achieve your dream. So what gives you the comfort during uncomfortable times is the hope that doing that you'll achieve your dream. So this is your chance to share your stories and grow your audience by mastering a skill that many people won't even attempt because they fear. So the more you do it, the better you will get. So get your story prepared and then get out there and practice. Like, you already have everything you need to become a compelling speaker. So get started today. Make a plan. Start putting together your first presentation. And the world is there. They need to know what you have to share. And no one can tell your story better than you can. Yeah, no one can tell my story better than I do, because I know myself better than anyone. Maybe God can, but God would not come to make a presentation to you. Anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe and stay tuned for more content.